Malik Williams.
And what'd you do?
I went 8-0 at YCS Vegas in the Attack of the Giant card.
Let's see your profile.
So I played Blue Eyes, starters, Sage, Maiden, and then the best card in the deck, Barrel. That's it for the normal summons. Played 2 of the legendary Weapon of Destruction, Blue Eyes White Dragon himself. In my non-engine, I played 3 Effect Veiler, 3 Ash, 2 Ogre, which I just built my deck to really beat up on Raziel decks, and I just wanted as many cards that didn't let a duo drive resolve. So I played the 2 Ogre. I played 2 Droll because I was scared of playing against a water deck, and I just wanted Droll to be somewhere in my deck to try to give me a chance against the water decks. That's for the monster hand traps. Then I played 3 Imperm, 3 Purge. I've seen a lot of lists cut and Purge, but once again, I wanted to just beat up on every Raziel player that I played against, and there's nothing they can really do against this card, especially when you have a Trap Engrave, you destroy the duo drive, getting the body off the board. And then Tyrant Dragon is just broken because you stop them with the Purge, and then on your turn, the Tyrant Dragon just resets it if you can't kill them, and then you activate this again, they pass back, and then the Tyrant Dragon really kills them. So Purge is pretty cool. Sometimes you do have to side it out, like when I side in Chaos Hunters against Malice, the Purge kind of conflicted, so I would opt to side it out. Spells, 1 Pot of Prosperity, because I want to see extra hand traps when I'm going first, and also I wanted to see some of these other power spells like Talents, which was really good. A lot of people play like the Mo-Charmies in their deck, and I almost felt like I was playing the water deck because I was just hand looping people every time they would Mo-Charmy me, because they Mo-Charmy you, and then you normal summon like a Barrel, and then they usually hand trap you again, so it's 2 hand traps. And then if it's Veiler, if it's Ash, then you activate Talents and you rip another card. And I'm not going to give them any more cards because when you start with the Primite engine, you can pretty much play around all the Mo-Charmies. So if they fool you, you kind of just set up the Barrel, and then you set up the Drill Beam, and then Barrel's second effect, you contribute it to Foolish, a normal monster, so then the Lordy Load summons the Blue Eyes from grave instead of deck, so they don't get any draws, and you still have your Drill Beam live, and then you just kind of set your Imperms and your Purges, and you have hand traps in hand, and then you play. I played 3 Ultimate Slayer because I don't like Raziel, and having this in the main deck kind of was an advantage against the Raziel decks, and it made it easy to side against the Malice decks. Lordy Load, Broken Spell. It is your 7th copy of Drill Beam and your 6th copy of, what's that card? Barrel. It came up, the attack modulation came up a lot, trying to go for game, because unfortunately Blue Eyes doesn't kill people that often, so getting as much damage in as possible comes up. So you get 300 extra attack for having a Blue Eyes engraved, so it makes your Barrel bigger, it makes your Blue Eyes bigger, and that in combination with Mausoleum of White does a considerable amount of damage over time. Also, the play with the Barrel when you send the normal to grave, this summons from grave, so that helped me play around the Mo-Charmies. You got Drill Beam, which is my boss monster of the deck. Basically, when you play against decks, you just want to put them on the lowest amount of resources, and then for the rest of the game, this card just says no to any chance that they have of coming back, because it resets itself off of its own effect if you control a Primite monster, and then Barrel comes back every turn that you have a normal monster. So yeah, this is kind of just like an infinite loop, and that's why I call it my boss monster. I played 3 Wishes. I know a lot of people are moving to 2. I've even seen somebody play 1 Wishes, but I like playing it at 3 because you see it, it's gas. If they Ash it and you have Talents, it's even more gas. And then it makes siding really easy. If I'm going second, I side out 2 of these things, leave 1 in, because I also, if you're going second, you're probably siding out the trap, so you're only going to get to resolve this once. So playing 3 makes it easier to side, and yeah. Then you play Mausoleum of the White. It's a brick, but also necessary for the engine. One Roar, one Majesty, broken card, but gets decided out when you go second. And then True Light. Yeah, that's really it for the traps. I think the coolest thing that you can do with True Light is everybody's trying to pop it. So on your opponent's turn, you don't activate it, and then when they go to pop it, you usually go seals, anything, they say no, then you chain the True Light, get its effect off. Usually you're just summoning back Blue Eyes, and then the seals bounces this back to hand so it doesn't blow up. And then, yeah, you have a Blue Eyes on field, then Maiden triggers, summons itself, and then the seals triggers itself and summons another body. So instead of blowing up your whole board, it kind of sets up a board when you have seals. For the extra deck, we played 2 Spirit of Eyes Blue. This card is how you get access to Mausoleum. It's a way to cheat out the Blue Eyes from the grave or the hand. Simple, everybody plays that one in their list. 2 seals, I thought 2 seals was important because you're really just trying to play control, get your opponent on the least amount of resources, and then once they have no resources, it's just punch with Blue Eyes and drill beam to make sure they don't get back in the game. And then also playing around Nibiru, you use one of these, and if they nib you, you want to be able to at least try to make a second seals if you can. Played Lina. This card was okay. In theory, it was to take people's detonators out of the grave and then use their detonator against them. That like came up once during the main event, but it didn't come up during the giant card. And then also in the mirror, you can take their cards as well. Then we have the target for wishes. You equip this to a Blue Eyes, and then while it's engraved, it's targeting protection. A lot of people forget about this card, and they misplay target something, and then you negate destroy it. My favorite card in the deck was Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon. This card it's just crack. Like literally just deletes a whole board, and then it resets one of your traps. Post side, it resets your strikes, your solemn judgments. Really enjoyed this Tyrant card. You can make it before you can get nibbed. So you make this, go to battle, clear their board, main phase 2, start playing, they nib you, but you already got your value out of it. You cleared their board and set a trap. Also, it's unaffected by traps, so if they kill your True Light, this doesn't die. Against Malice, the traps do nothing against it. They've got to use access code or their monsters to get rid of it. I played 2 Spirit. I only summoned Spirit maybe twice during the entire giant card, so out of all 8 rounds I summoned this like 2 times, because usually I'm just trying to end on seals and keep it safe, play control. When you play against Fiendsmith decks, which is when I did summon it, it's really good because you get to negate the Fiendsmith cards in grave and then tag out for the Omni negate for like their talents and stuff. So whenever you use Spirit, if you use the grave negate, make sure you immediately tag out into the Omni so you don't get talenced or thrusted. At least this is there to negate that card. I played Azure Eyes. I thought this card would be busted against Raziel because they couldn't destroy or target my dragons, but it never really came up. It never really felt good to summon. And then when I did summon it, they just attacked over it because I believe, can I be target destroyed by card effects? Yeah. So they just swing over it and then you look silly. Lightstorm Dragon was probably the MVP of the synchro monsters. I made this more than I made Spirit because sometimes when you go into Spirit, like I said, you get nibbed. So my opponent, I'm playing into their board, they have back row, and then I don't want to make Spirit and get nibbed, so I'll just make Lightstorm, blow up all their back row, and if they have nib, at least we traded fairly. And then when this card dies, you can set a spell trap from your grave, and if you have a normal monster, you can activate that trap or spell. What's the only way you can activate that trap or spell is if you control a normal monster. So if you didn't get back into your drill beam, you can set the drill beam, you can set strikes, you can set judgment, you can set a spell for the next turn. This is one of my favorite cards in extra deck. I played 1 detonator as a Metatronus target. I wasn't a fan of Metatronus, but that's just because I hadn't play tested with Metatronus. So then in the event, I decided to play it and the card was busted. 1 aggregator because I main deck Slayer. Self-explanatory, outs the Raziel board. And then we played Typhon, which I felt like is only good if you stop duo drive, because if they have cross, then this card looks pretty mid. and that's the extra deck. And then for the side deck, I played 1 called by, 2 Metatronus. I probably should have played 3, but I was still trying to convince myself I liked the card. But it was really good. And then called by is called by, it did what it did. I played 2 Lightning Storm and a Duster, just because into Malice, clearing the back row is really good. And then against the Ryziel deck, if they do wind up getting to cross, I need to out it to be able to use my cards to try to, out the actual monsters. Which is really difficult in Blue Eyes. There's nothing within Engine in Blue Eyes that beats a Detonator, so you gotta have non-Engine. 3 Judgment, would play Strike, but because I play so much back row in Blue Eyes, Judgment is just a better card because you set a strike with all your back row and they duster you, you just get dookied on. So to avoid getting dookied on, we played Solemn Judgment because if they don't have Duster, it's broken. If they do have Duster, it protects the rest of your cards. 3 Lancia, 3 Chaos Hunter, all Malice hate. When I play this, 1 round I played this with the Purges still in deck, and it cost me because I activated Purge from hand, which means I couldn't activate Chaos Hunter. So the rest of the tournament, I just sided out Purges when I sided in Chaos Hunter, and then I side out my Slayers for Lancias for the Malice matchup. And that is my list. And then I just want to say thank you for Bortle for taking this deck list and posting it. And then also shout out to my home shop, the People's Card Shop. Shout out to all the people that I tested with. I tested endlessly for 3 weeks for this event. Didn't do well in the main event, but did well in the giant card. Shout out to Ed, Exception. Shout out to the homie Oscar. Shout out to my teammates Thomas and Alex. And thank you.